going to be a nice day.
Yeah, it's been very nice. Let's see. My students want to particularly know about what it was like to be a Latino in the army. You know, when it was like just barely getting desegregated during that time period and stuff. Did
There
you face a lot of
actually,
discrimination?
no, there was no segregation. Very few blacks,
Mm-hmm.
but no, every other race was treated equal.
Yeah.
Yeah, equal. Yeah, yeah. I didn't. I never. Not one time did I feel discriminated on. By all my army career, and I started from the top went to the top.
Yeah,
Not just
exactly.
hard. Yeah. No, I didn't see no discrimination.
Did you serve with lots of other Latinos, like in your units?
The unit, the men I had, there was a guy named Perez. He was from Thermal, California. He was Mexican, and I had one Italian, and the rest are all Americans.
Yeah.
We're all Americans, but I mean,
But yeah, probably why exactly.
yeah.
Okay. Hold on. Do you have any? My students want to know, like, do you have any regrets about participating in the war at all, or no regrets?
No. I think it was because before the war, I didn't have. I went to high school only,
Mm-hmm.
and I didn't want to end up picking oranges like my brother. So me and this buddy of mine ran away from home, went to Hanford, California, and stayed there until my dad found me and brought me back. And then me and my buddy, we joined the CC camp, and we stayed there for 18 months. I made acting squad leader with 2 stripes. We'd done, our primary job was fighting forest fires. And when we weren't doing that, there were a lot of avocados. We were in Oceanside, or Vista, California. We used to inlay ditches, avocados with bricks or rocks, so for irrigation. I spent 18 months there, and then I come back, and then it was 42 that I got drafted.
Yeah.
So I had a little bit of military training in CC camp, because we all had in barracks and chow lines and medics and all that language, we're not in uniform, but we had sort of a uniform. But it was a good experience for me.
Yeah.
It got me molded, frame into the military life, and I liked it, and I stayed.
What would you be most proud of?
Well, I think most proud of would be my role in combat, where I was giving up. One thing that I tell people, that the 2.5, just about 3 years I was in combat, I remember I always had a knot in my stomach from the fear of any time you could die, and it's quite an experience, and I'm glad, and I think that when I got wounded with a concussion grenade, I think that blanked a lot of my memories, because I remember little incidents of the war, going in the forest, and then me and this sergeant lagging back and going into a barn to have a cigarette, and then come back, and the squad is already gone, so we had to run and catch up with them. Little incidents like that, running with your camouflage poncho on in forest, and falling down on the snow. Big, just the Vosges Mountains are enormous.
It's
But
almost
I
like
don't have,
snapshots.
huh?
It's almost like snapshots, like you remember like
Yeah,
certain
yeah,
details
yeah,
very well.
but not too many, which is good. And I think that was due to that concussion,
Yeah.
because I know that I went through a lot of things,
Mm-hmm.
the farmhouses that we took, and the farmers, how they treated us. Uh, just a lot of stuff that I don't remember, which is good. I think it's good.
Yeah, it probably is a good thing.
I never had any nightmares that woke up.
Yeah, that's also what I want to ask you about. Was it difficult to
No.
adjust at all coming
No,
back?
no. since I retired to the day, I never have had any nightmares of the war. I have other bad dreams, but not of the actual combat, which is good.
Yeah, I would think so.
My grandma, when I introduced him to my family, and he was telling the stories, my grandma was scared. She said,
Yeah.
"You better don't marry that man, because
No, no.
She got- what did she
When we were dating over in Panama, you wear short sleeves and civilian clothes, and that time this scar in my wrist was, you could see it pretty good. And when I was dating her, I went to her house, and her grandma introduced her. And after I left, they would say, you would tell her, it's just, they watched a lot of Mexican movies on TV in Panama at that time, and it portrays the male Mexican being in a bar drunk, getting his knife out and having a fight with his knife. And he said that's what happened to him. That war story is just to get you to like him.
There's a cover.
Yeah,
it's like you're a thug.
while he got drunk, he said that he had a knife fight, and don't believe what he's telling you about the war. That was
She
great.
was so funny. She lived to be 180 years old.
108?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, she was
And
after
all
work.
capacity, everything was right there.
Yeah, that's impressive.
And they used to tease me, and she used to say, just wake up on the right side. With Manuel. She used to be so funny.
She was quite a lady.
God. But she was worried about it.
I guess the last question I have is that, if you could, I know that it wasn't necessarily your choice to join because you were drafted, but assuming that you could go back and fresh start, would you do it again?
Not the part of the war, because you were in constant fear of dying, and you killing people.
Mm-hmm.
When you're marching, or not marching, but going through a forest and you see dead Germans, all that stuff. I wouldn't like to go through it. The part that I enjoyed was after, when I went to Panama, and I was in the military police career that I had, and the things that I had done to bring both the Panamanian police and the army and the military police together, the colonels and the generals and the mayors and all that, and I started in terms of second. That, real proud of that, and I left a very good image of the American soldier. Those parts I like.
Mm-hmm.
I like those kind of.
Yeah, being with the people, the community.
Yeah,
That type of
and
stuff.
then it was good because I had to go to school to learn a new type of Spanish, the legal terms, court documents I had to translate
Oh,
for,
yeah.
for the soldier who were getting court-martial, So I had good experience. It boosted I had to go to school for the military police and learn a lot of things I didn't know about the police work. So I enjoyed that, but no, I don't think I would like to experience that
The war
combat
again.
again, no.
No.
And I see it on TV, and every now and then, some years later, they show a lot of World War II movies, but they were nothing like what you go through,
No, it's not like feeling it.
I saw one movie, it was called Battleground, years ago, about World War II, and the only thing that I remember, which was funny, which we did, is that we were not issued toilet paper. And we get whatever it was, and one part of the war, the Germans were propaganda, they would drop leaflets, surrender and all that stuff. And I remember, and they showed this scene, and we've done that many times, that we would see the papers float down in the forest, and then if you had to go to the bathroom, you
Spread the propaganda?
you see the soldier, which we actually done, go into the forest, pick up the leaves, and go do your thing, And showed it in the movie, one of those soldiers doing that. I said, well, that's actually what happened,
Yeah.
But there's a little funny thing like that.
Quite a story.
Well, thank you. Quite a story,
So
exactly.
it's been a pleasure
Yeah.
reminiscing like that, you know.
I really appreciate you taking the time to do it, and I know my students will too.
I don't talk too much about it, and this chapter of the third division that's here in Livermore, the guy, I was in H company, and they got battalions A, B, C, and D, E, F, G, H, and he was in E company, and I was in H company, and he was fighting the same, only he was a rifleman.
Mm-hmm.
He was in the same place at the same time as I was, because we were, you know, the same companies.
Yeah, but you're the heavy weapons guy, right?
I was heavy weapons, yeah.
Yeah.
He was a rifleman in another company.
Mm-hmm.
He took over the chapter here in Livermore, and when he found out that I'd been in World War II, he called me. He said, "Come over and talk." I said, "Yeah." So we come over and we sat here in a patio, and we talked about the war and our experience, and we both broke down crying. You know, we remembered so vividly. And they have a meeting at the Brass Door here in San Ramon every month, you know. And I never have gone to the meetings because they told me, "But Moreno, why don't you go?" I said, "I don't want to wake up any, or hear somebody talk about it and wake up memories that I don't
Yeah,
want."
that you don't want.
And so he calls me and sends me letters, and I never have gone to the meetings. They still have them. But I just don't want to stir anything up.